Empowerment Show aims to equip individuals with the necessary tools, knowledge, and confidence to make informed decisions and take control of their lives. It also focuses on ensuring access to essential resources and the opportunities.
Hey, good evening. How are you? And welcome to the Empowerment Show. My name is Kendall Stevenson, and I am the host of your show. On this show, we like to bring the audience a variety of topics, from people who just getting out of prison to where we talk about politics. We may even dib or dab in some spiritual things. But yes, on the Empowerment Show, we're here to give you a variety of shows, and we're gladly and grateful, and we do appreciate you guys for tuning in and checking out this space. Okay, this evening, I got a young lady with me this evening. I'm not going to attempt it. How are you, young lady? You know what? I thought of a name. I was going to call you C.W. Watts.
C.W. Watts.
But you go ahead and
you can just call me Carlotta. You don't have to pronounce the whole name. You could just say Carlotta.
It kind of would be like a crime if I didn't pronounce your entire name, right?
My name is Carlotta Aneth. Aneth, Aneth.
So I understand that you're a writer.
I am a writer.
That you are a mom.
I am a mom.
That you are a community activist.
I am.
That you wear a lot of hats. A lot of hats.
I do.
So how do you handle it? Tell me about who you are, why you do what you do, and what's your passion.
Okay. So I'll start with who I am. Of course, you know, my name is Carlotta Aneth. I am a mother of 7. I have 7 children. I have 2 bonus daughters. So I try to include all my children. So it's 9 altogether. I have 10 grandchildren and 2 great-grands. All from my children and my bonus children. I am an ex-veteran. I'm a veteran. I can't say ex-veteran, but I'm a veteran of the United States Army. 15 years.
Thank you for your service, young lady.
Thank you for your service. Thank you. I am an author and a writer. I'm a published author. I am republishing a first book that I put out. But I have a second book coming out as well. I am an elder in my church, evangelist. My passion is people. I love people. I love working with people. My newest job that I have now is radio show host. I've been doing that for a couple of years. Oh, yeah. Just like you. Radio show host.
Well, you've been doing it. I'm sure you're much more seasoned than I am.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
So I've been doing that since 2000. Just after the pandemic, so I'm gonna say about 2020, 21. That I've been working on the radio. I have a podcast. I haven't been doing my podcast lately because I've been working on the radio. My coach, my show host coach, she's amazing. And she's like, I want you to just concentrate more on the radio because that's your niche. And I didn't think it was my niche, but everyone says that I have a radio voice. Your voice is amazing. Be on the radio. So I started out with the podcast. Now I'm on the radio.
Absolutely.
The name of the radio station is WDRB Media. WDRB Media, the voice of the community, double the information and inspiration. And the name of my show is Diamonds in the Rough Radio Show, where we talk with God's jewels. Yeah.
Wow, you're absolutely amazing. Thank you. And you did all of this in 20 years? Because what are you, all 22 years old? You got all these kids, grandkids, and what are you all of 22?
Thank you. God bless you. So God be the glory. I appreciate you.
I guess you and a few other young ladies, like my wife, they say black don't crack, right?
Black don't crack. That's what they
Yeah, it's
say.
hard to tell what age we are. I'm well in my mid 60s, but we're gonna forget about me. We're gonna get right back
You know, you're
right
gonna look
back
it,
to you.
but
So tell me about the book. You're an author. How many books have you
um,
written so far?
I've written 3 books. I'm working on a fourth. The first book was called Her Story, and it's about my life. I wrote it as a fiction because I didn't want to I didn't want any issues with names and
Hmm.
people and events. So I chose to just do it as a fiction. I When I wrote the book, every story that's in the book, every event that happens in the book is real. It's just the names have been changed and the story has been somewhat changed, but it is my story. I have
Remember back in the day, it used to be a television show used to come on and say, "We've changed the names to protect the
right
innocent."
to protect the innocent. That's correct. That's
So your
correct.
books,
So
all three of your books are based off of your life story,
all 4 books are based off of my life story. The first one, and then the second one that I wrote, which is a sequel to the first book, Her Story. The first book is Her Story. Just you wait and see what happens. And then the
her
next book,
story.
Her
What is that
Story.
about her story? Let me her story. What's her story?
Her Story is my life story. It's about a young woman named Nichelle, and she's a mother. She only has 3 children. This 4 children. Sorry, she has 4 children. She has been married. She moved from New York City to the Pennsylvania area, and her marriage broke down. She met a gentleman that she thought was going to work out.
Let's
And
not give
apparently,
away too much milk, but they
yeah.
can
So yeah,
they
so
can
they could
find
get
your
the
book
book.
where? Where can they find your books at?
So this book, Her Story, I do not want anyone to get this book right now. This book
Okay.
is on it is on the every platform, but I don't want anyone to get that book.
You don't want anyone to read the book? That's
They
the
will
first I've
not.
heard of an author who doesn't want anyone to read their work.
I have a reason. So the publisher that I was with did not do me correctly. She did not um, she didn't market my book the way she should have. They changed a lot of so let me just say this. When I published the book, when I wrote the book, I gave her the book. They edited the book. When it was time for the book to go out, I did not receive my author's copy so that I can approve the book
Oh,
before it went on the market. So I was so excited being a new author and being excited about, having my book to be out there. I said, you know what, go ahead and let it drop. And the book dropped. And I did not, not being smart, and just being excited about what's going on. I never read my author's copy. I got my author's copy maybe 2 weeks after the book dropped. And I just assumed that, they did good because I had already seen the first editing. So I was like, oh, everything's good. But then um, what they do is they go back and they just do, once I give them the approval, then they go and they do, whatever that extra editing just to make sure all the P's are dotted. And I mean, the I's are dotted, the P's are correctly, all of those things. Um, and they changed my character. They changed all of my characters. They made them, they just did things that, took words out and put words in and moved and made my character someone that they're not, that this character is not. And so that really bothered me. And so when I wanted to address her about it. But everything happened during the pandemic. And so things were going on and I didn't get a chance to speak to her. God bless the dead. Her husband passed away during the pandemic, and it was
wow.
so sad. It was sad. And I was there to, I'm a minister. I'm a pastor. I'm a elder in my church. I'm an evangelist. So this is what I do. I help people when hard things come. And so I'm talking to her and trying to help her with her husband. I didn't know it was her husband. I thought it was her, because she was
Mm-hmm.
saying that they want me to put be intubated, and she's telling me all this stuff. And long story short, it wasn't her. It was her husband. And so I didn't hear from her for a long, long time. Reaching out to her people, thinking that they will return my calls. They didn't return my calls. No one answered. The time was coming up for me to redo my contract with her. And I chose not to give her the second book.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I will give you any other book, because I had other books. I write poetry. I write children's books. I have lots of books that I could give her, but I chose that book, this particular book, her story, because it is a bestseller.
Well, it's out in the market now. I mean, why wouldn't you want people to read it?
Because the book is not correct. The story's not right. They don't have the right
It's not your
information.
book. I understand
That's
being
right.
an artist. You
Right.
want to portray your art, not someone
That's
else's
right.
art.
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct. And other
Well, how
things
about the
need to
second
happen.
book?
So the second book I wrote, I sent it to her, but I rescinded it. And I said, I am not going to share this book with you. I put a cease to desist, so that she's not able to publish that second book. And she can't, because we don't have a deal. She broke the contract. She went and got her lawyer to write a contract up to break our contract. And I was okay with that. And she did that because she knew I was not going to give her the second book. She was going to get only what I was willing to give her, because that book meant a lot to me. And you just disregarded, everything that I did.
Mm-hmm.
So now my family is asking me to
So
link.
let me ask you, did you decide to get a different publisher and get that book and the
I
third
do
book
have a new
published?
publisher. Yep, I do have a new publisher. The new publisher is called Shero,
Okay.
Shero. They're amazing. I love them. They really, really. I'm so sorry. I'm I'm multitasking at the same time. They're amazing.
Let me see if I can help you out. What's the name of the organization?
Shero, Shero.
Let's see if I can help you out a little bit here. Okay.
Yep.
Is that the
Shero.
name of the publishing
That's the name of
organization?
it. Yep, that's the name of the publisher. Her name is Dr. Erica. She's amazing. They have been really good with me. In the beginning, I was just like really nervous about being with a new publisher, but they're amazing, and they've been helping me. I did not give them her story yet, because God told me that I needed to write another book, which I did. I wrote the book. He told me to finish the book. I'm publishing the book. The name of the book is called Killing the Trauma Blues and Killing the Procrastination Blues. Based off of my program. I have a program called Killing the Trauma Blues, which helps all people, but mostly the Black and Brown community, because we suffer with a lot of trauma over many, many, many years. And I touch on generational and intergenerational trauma, because we have it. It's a known fact that our DNA remembers trauma. And if our DNA remembers trauma, it remembers the trauma from our ancestors. And so a lot of people don't know that. And they don't know they don't know why things keep happening. Why does this keep happening? Why do I keep having issues? Why does every time something happens, it's because we don't recognize our trauma. And so
do you counsel people?
I do counsel. I do one-on-one counseling, and I do my main is group counseling right now. I don't mind doing one-on-one counseling. I do have about 15 clients right now that I do counsel. But I do more group counseling, because people are more prone to share They might not share everything, but they will share. And once one person shares, another will share, and then
Mm-hmm.
they'll continue. I like to start with the women because women share. We talk. I try to make it a safe space and let them know this is a safe space. We will not share each other's information. What we do here is sacred. It's just like, like being with God. What we do here is powerful. We're here to get healed and set free and delivered. So yeah, that's what I do.
Well, when we I got to take this little commercial break. But
Okay,
when we
no
come back
problem.
after 30 seconds, that I'm going to want you to give your information so people can know where to reach out to you. Okay? And
Absolutely.
then I want you to explain also to the young ladies if they decide that they want to get into writing a book, or young people
Mhm.
in general. What
Absolutely.
avenue or what road should they go down? What roadblocks should they look out for? But we'll see you in
Absolutely.
30 seconds, okay?
All right.
All right, that was the Wolf Pack. As you can see, you can go to
We saw
YouTube
that.
or
We saw
Facebook and
that.
go to at Wolf Pack. They're sporting apparel. So if
Hmm.
you like it, just go to Facebook and put in Wolf Pack. I think that's spelled the German way, right? I think that's the German
Hmm.
way of spelling wolf.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not 100% sure,
Hmm.
but it looks really cool. Those guys, you see how young with all the muscles. Jesus,
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen muscles like that
In a
in
long time.
40 years.
I see him every day. I have two sons here who are both athletes, and the one son, he's a little small, he's a little shorter. I'm not going to say
Right.
smaller, but he's shorter than his brother. And he lifts weights, and he's always in my mirror.
That guy, man, he just blew up. All of a sudden, the
Yeah.
muscles just blew up from all over
Yes.
the
Just
place.
coming out of
Wow.
nowhere. Yep. No, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's part of the wolf pack. Wow. Okay, don't come after me at night. So we were getting ready to get into your information,
Yes,
and we
sir.
had a couple other questions that went along with that. So let's start with the first. Let's give out your information, please, so people can know where they can reach you at.
Absolutely. They can reach me on Instagram. You can reach me on by Carlotta Aneth, at Carlotta Aneth, or at Get Your Mind Movement. That's my movement, which gears towards the Black and Brown community, of course, and everything umbrellas under that. You can reach me on Facebook. Um, if you type in Carlotta Aneth, you will find me on Facebook or on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Aneth Williams Watts 50. But I always give out my business Instagram so that people, if they want to contact me, they could contact me best on there because then I will respond. Um, you can call me at 570 269 8397. You can reach me
Could
at
you
that
repeat
number,
that, please?
570
Mm-hmm.
269
Mm-hmm.
8397. I hope that's the correct number.
269.
Uh huh.
I think it's
8397. Uh huh.
8397.
That's correct. That's correct.
All right. You know,
Mm-hmm.
start getting up there in age. Yeah.
Oh, no,
You don't
change
type
that.
so fast.
Nope, change it. Change that. It's 281. Sorry. I'm
Okay.
looking at it now.
All
Yep,
right,
it's 281.
it's all right, young lady.
Mm-hmm.
We're allowed to do
Make
that. What you
mistakes.
say? It's 281, not two six
281.
nine.
Not 269. 281
All right,
8
two eight,
8397. That's correct. That's the correct number.
and the rest is 8397.
That's correct.
Okay, that's correct.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, outstanding. Let's get
Mhm.
that. Let's put that up there.
Thank you.
Wrong guy. We want this guy. There you go.
That
That's
looks
the correct
perfect.
number.
That is the correct number. Yes,
We'll
sir.
make sure we got it correct. Now, I also asked you about giving advice and how are you going to help the youth or your intentions. I understand you're a community activist, so
Yes.
I want to know, what advice would you give, especially to young ladies, since you're a young lady? What would you tell young ladies who'd like to follow in your footsteps and maybe become a writer or even a pastor or a community activist?
First, as a pastor, and working with people in the who are believers, as a disciple of Christ. First, you want to give your life to Christ, and that's the first thing. You want to find a place where you can worship, or where you can begin to worship, and get with the pastor there, get with the evangelist there, those people, so that they can work with you on your salvation. That's the first thing I teach about, is maintaining salvation. I will never not say that. I will always. Now, will I tell people? Well, if people don't want it, then I can't push it on them. I'm not going to.
Right.
But that's me. That's Carlotta. So anybody that comes to me, they know. Oh, we going to the elder. She's an elder. She's an evangelist. She ministers. I will minister.
Right.
When it comes to being an entrepreneur, on your own, and wanting to build your own brand, what I would give the advice is one thing at a time. You start with one thing at a time. What it is that you want to do, figure out what you want to do. You want to write it, outline, get a book. I tell everyone, get a journal. Write down all the things that you think that you're supposed to be doing, finding your purpose, finding what you do well. And when you find that what you do well, then you start outlining, how do I make this work? What are the things that I need to do to get to doing this, what I do well, as my career? And that's the step. Starting with how to do it, researching. Is it lucrative? Can I make money? And do I want to make money doing this, or is this just a hobby? This is what I would. This is what I teach. This is what I share with the young people that I talk to, and just women. Period. Even the young young men, that I meet along the way. I have sons, so I'm always talking to their friends. They're always sharing information, sharing things about home life, and just giving them advice and helping them to start with themselves. It starts with you. When you recognize what's going on, and this is my thing, is that acknowledging anything that's going on in your life that is causing you distress. Acknowledge your trauma. When you acknowledge trauma, it helps you to go forward, to move forward to the next level in your life. When you don't acknowledge it, then trauma starts to take over, and you continue to have it's like a ripple effect that keeps, you hit the water and it just keeps going, and it doesn't stop, because you don't recognize it. You don't. So my mantra is acknowledge, deal, and heal. You acknowledge what's going on in your life that is not correct, and correct it, and then deal with it. How do you deal with it? You find those things that will help you, that's conducive to you, that will help you, that that it will work for you, so that you can heal. And that's what I would
I tell you something. I know a young lady. Her name is Shaquana Terry.
say.
I think you guys should meet up one day. She's yeah. I think you guys will hit it off really well. So, like I was saying, I wanted to ask you questions about, what would you tell people? What avenue should they take to try to become a writer?
Right.
What things should they look out for?
So when becoming a writer, of course, you should be writing. You should have journals. You should have anything that you're writing. I personally like to write on paper. Everything I write it in a book first before I put it in a computer. Reason being is because if you write it in the book first, and then you put it on the computer, and someone steals it from you or tries to use it, guess what? You have the book. You have it with the date on it. It has your name, and when you present it, if you have an issue with anyone and you present that book, that is your proof. I wrote the book first. before you even thought about it. It was already written. It was on paper. That's number one.
So you think it's better to handwrite a manuscript than to type one?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Mhm.
You write it first. A lot of people don't want to write these days. Everybody wants to just tap it out, tap, 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 which is great. I don't dispel anyone from doing that. That's great if that's best for you. But what's really best is to write it out, put it on paper. If you don't want to do it in a journal, get a manuscript paper and write it out. Write your thoughts out. Write everything out.
How do you avoid those? I'm sorry, didn't mean to
Uh-huh.
cut you off, young
No,
lady.
no.
But how do you avoid the incidences that took place with you, where people with the young lady? How do you avoid that?
Today my thing is I pray about everything. Let me say this. Let me be real. I pray about every single thing. Some people, even my kids, they say, "Ma, you pray about everything." I do. I pray about my pastor. She's her husband. He gets on her because she prays about the parking spot to get in the front when she goes to the mall. Lord, let me get a parking spot in the front, right in the front. And every time she gets it, he's like, "You should be praying for a parking spot." But
Hanny Lou Famer, I think she said it best.
Mhm.
She said you can pray until you faint, but if you don't get up
Right.
and do something about it, God is not going to put it in your lap. So what I'm
Faith
asking
without
to
works
you,
is dead.
so the question I'm asking you is how,
Mhm.
if I wanted to get into the industry that you're into, I'm young, I don't know anything, right?
Right.
How do I protect myself against publishers who may want to try to rip me off?
I'm, I'm, I I don't know. That's why I'm saying I pray about everything because because this first publisher, I was so excited. Don't be so excited and so ready to just meet the first person you meet,
Right.
you want to publish with. No, make sure you do your homework. You learn about that person. You learn everything about them. So the first publisher, I didn't do that. I didn't learn everything about that person. I just assumed because one, and I didn't mention this. One, she was a friend of a friend. And so I was like, oh, she's a publisher. Oh, that's going to be great. And I just automatically was ready, not even knowing the person. But because people will deceive you, and with their kindness, their niceness. People know how to be kind and nice. But once they see that you have something good, I started to see my work that I was sharing with her, things that I was working on, my blogs and all of that. I started seeing that stuff on her Instagram. She was putting it on her Instagram. She would come on and do videos. I used to do Instagram videos every day or every other day, and I started seeing my stuff, the things that I wrote, the things that I put together that I shared with her. She was putting it out on Instagram, and so we have to be careful with the when you meet someone, don't just be so excited about wanting to work with that person. Learn them, find out, talk to them, have a conversation with them. You could say yes or no. Now, you know what? I don't think so. Not this. Maybe you don't have to work with the first person that you meet.
In other words, just don't trust anyone.
I'm not saying don't trust
Well,
anyone,
I
but
mean,
you
don't
want to
trust anyone, especially when you first meet them. It's better that you go and you do your
learn
research.
them,
Maybe you
research
look at some of
them.
the reviews that's been written
Correct.
about them,
Correct.
and maybe you can get an opportunity to talk to other people about them. So you get a
That's right.
much better feel for them. It's kind of like buying a car from a used salesman. You don't you
Hmm.
don't
Hmm.
you don't want to buy the first car he puts on the lot because
That's right.
you got to
That's
be
right.
careful, right? Because it may
Right.
look good, but it may not. It may be a piece of junk.
How about
So
when you go to the barber shop?
Mhm.
This is I don't know if it's a myth or not, but when you go to the barber shop, the guy that's at the first chair, normally people don't go to him. Why?
I don't know about
Because
that.
he's
I don't
brand
know
new.
about that.
That's what I learned. I
That's
learned that as
something
a
that
I
I
learned
don't
it as
know
a
about.
kid. I did.
I
I
go to
learned
the
it as a
barber and the
kid.
first guy that's open, I'm jumping in the seat.
No, no, I don't mean that. I mean the first chair.
Well, even the first chair, if the
Yeah,
first chair is open,
normally
I'm
the
going to
first.
jump in the first chair because it's a long wait. Sometimes you go to the barber, sometimes you're sitting there for an hour or so,
And you
just
get
waiting
the
to get your
first
hair
chair.
cut.
That guy
Hmm.
that's at the first chair at the beginning of the barbershop, and he's usually the new guy.
Hmm.
and nobody wants to go to him because he's the new
He's
guy.
the new guy. All
I,
right.
I grew up on that. I had brothers,
Hmm.
my mother
So
and my
this
father.
is what we're gonna do, Miss Colada.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
like the Colada. Our time is running short. We got a few seconds left, and I like to keep it at a minimum,
Okay.
and 30 minutes is until we
30
get
minutes.
ready.
30
Um,
minutes.
I gave you a proposal, and let's see
Okay.
where you run with it. And I
Mhm.
think you'll be really good for it. And matter of fact, I think I'd like you to actually speak to Shaquana when we get off
Mhm.
the air, and
Okay.
you sit down and chop it up with her and see how you guys talk about things.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna have a part
Mhm.
two because we got to see what's going on with the rest of your life with the children. I got how many kids?
I have seven of that I had, 7 children of my own, and then I have 2 bonus children.
And how many grandkids?
And I have 5 grands of my own and 5 bonus grands.
Wow, you
And two
sound like
great
me. I
and
got
two
five
great
kids, and we got like a million grandkids all
Yes.
over the
I
daggone
got
place.
2 great, and I have 2 great grands, two
Oh, God bless you. God
bonus
bless you.
great grands. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, so we're going to cut this short. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Empowerment Show. Hopefully, you guys tune in on Wednesday. I have a young lady coming in. Her name is Miss Betty, and believe me, she is
Mhm.
amazing. When you sit and you hear what she has to say, you will find out that this woman she is what she is, top of the mountain, and
All right.
she is so truly amazing. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. I like to say my name is Kendall Stevenson, and always I like to use a little mantra that the
Mhm.
young lady taught me. She says, "Be yourself, because everybody else is taken." So, Kendall Stevenson, peace. I'm out.